The problem with today's anime fans. Now, this is something that I was saving for a while. A while. You know, ever since I got famous, ever since literally everything was concrete on paper, ever since literally I got this, I've been dealing with a whole lot of anime fans. Shit, a whole lot of reasons why they're stuck up, why they're frickies, why nothing is good enough for them. Do you know where that comes from? I know exactly where that comes from. But at the same time, you have to understand that that is really horrible. I have never dealt with a human being that disregards everything great about something and literally only focuses on what they have to focus on. Like, I've never seen a human being that literally take away from everything out of the anime and only focus on the action, which is basically what they do. But instead of action, they focus on lore and where's the plot going. And they don't care about anything. They don't care about the shipping between characters. Fan art is forbidden to them. Who needs fan art when we have manga? I'm tired of that mindset. That's the problem with anime fans today, literally. That is the truth of exploring the anime universe is characters, literally. The characters are show's bread and butter. Not just that, like, literally, freaking, it's not just Robin, it's what Robin resolves around. You don't understand, like, literally, the roles that they play in the show, how their emotions conflict with the roles. And I used to have a friend like that. I used to have a friend named Peter who really changed today, but back in the day really hated, you know, my obsession for fairy tales. Like, why are you watching Fairy Tail? Fist of the North Star. This is that. It's all about Fist of the North Star. This that. Fairy Tail's a fucking weak anime. For this that. Like, it's. I don't care about the shipping. I don't care about this. Get to the point. What's the whole point of this? This is that. That's really a really bad thought process. That's a really negative thought process because literally, I'm wondering why everybody else is having a good time in school. It's because of the same intellectual properties that I have when I watch anime. But the only problem is they're doing it at a form of disrespect. And that literally is what separates what I learned from high school and what separates, you know, Fairy Tail. You know, we should act like the characters in Fairy Tail. Like, we should be, you know, just like Juvia. We should be just like Natsu and stuff like that. But we live in a society where you act the exact same way. They're having the exact same amount of fun, but they're doing it at other people's expense. You know how literally they're having a whole lot of clowning, how there's a whole lot of foolery going on in Fairy Tail, how they're always capping a lot, especially, you know, freaking, you know, Makarov, Juvia, you know, freaking sometimes Jalal, freaking Gajil's always capping this, that. Imagine that, but high school people always talking shit and always do something at their expense. Like literally, the most popular kid always picks on somebody like, yo, you bought those worn out J's from last week and shit like that. Like, literally, this and that. But literally, that is literally the real life version of what they fucking do. Like, literally, and that's the problem. And that's what makes it a cartoon. And that's what I understand about people. That's why Fairy Tail is fictional, because in real life, real relationships don't work that way. I'm wondering why Juvia and Erza and Kana and all these female characters are literally having so much more personality than people in high school. Is because they're only taught, you know, how to fit a stereotype, you know, how to, you know, literally dominate situations instead of, like, seeing how situations play out. They're always putting their input on the situation instead of letting, like, things play out. So they get their little reward from doing something unexpected, but what they suffer is manipulating a situation. Over time, they realize that literally, I didn't have all that shit if I didn't pull that snake move, if I didn't pretend to be somebody I wasn't, if I didn't do this and that, and literally. So, literally, I built a foundation of being pure, and that really fucks with people. It's like, yo, this and that, and now I get to have all the fun now that I'm older, but I didn't get to do that when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I was getting rejected left and right for no reason. But it was a good reason on paper if you leave out specific information. Like, literally, I had this, like, uncanny obsession where, literally, I would mac on girls on fucking Facebook, and then some of the girls on Facebook went to my school, like, what the fuck, and stuff like that. Oh, you ruined my reputation. But then they saw that I could dance, they saw that I was funny, they saw that I was multi-talented and shit, and they realized that I got cockblocked by somebody earlier that year, and that I should have already been with somebody. And that's the reality of the situation. You get older, and, like, literally, the crazy thing, the reason why I have to mention that is because literally that has a lot to do with the political aspect of, you know, One Piece. And what does One Piece have to do with popular people? I'm gonna put it like this, literally. What people stand for, people fight for, literally, the gang territory, the shit that Wano's based off of, is literally what happened, like, throughout my, literally, throughout the entire high school. If you don't know anything about Wano, Wano is about prostitution. Fuck all this other shit. Yeah, it's a beef between two ward leaders, but where did it all come down to? What's the first thing you see in Wano, besides niggas with samurai swords? Hot bitches with fucking maid outfits. Sorry, fucking hot bitches in kimonos, not maid outfits, kimonos. You know what that's called? That's called swag. Okay, anyway, look, this is the crazy. Wado is about prostitution. Fuck what you fucking think in your fucking head, Lily. They're fighting over the land because of fucking woman. That's not what they say in the manga, but that's what the situation portrays when you get older. And when you realize how like black high school is connecting, once you understand how gangs work and how it's really, really petty, and how this all ties into his video, is for this exact very reason. See, what anime fans have did today is that they started to create their own tribe of cringe, where they keep things secluded like a high school kid. Lily, what they're doing is they don't let anybody exit. They don't like an extra perspective. They don't let anybody take away from the main crew, and that's how high school crews work. And I was already exited from that crew. And you have to understand, and there's a big reason why that's all connected, because Lily, there's so much you can take out of situations when you're full of shit. And like Lily, okay, well, yeah, I may have fucked this guy over, but yeah, I'm about to go to this party, I'm about to hit this guy up for some weed. Oh, this guy fronted me some weed. Oh, but I still got this girl to talk to. Fucking that'll be a distraction, this or that. And boom, by the time Lily I have to pay him and shit, that nigga will be in jail and stuff like. You don't understand, like, the crazy shit about Lily, this world and shit. And why am I comparing it to anime fans? Well, I take it quite simply. Even gangsters know, like, Lily, take what you can get in the situation, just like they did when I was in high school. Like, oh, well, we may know that we're wrong in this situation, but we already got him a whole lot of shit on paper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add insult to injury to make sure he never becomes a popular kid because we're jealous and shit like that, like Lily. And the real reason why is because it's off general respect. That's the same reason why these anime fans see me with these cosplayers and watch the cosplayers watch my AMVs and see how much intellectual fun we're having and see this, that. It's the same way the high schooler people like Lily felt about me. Like, yo, we actually have the relationships on paper, but he's the one who actually has the personality. He's the one who's actually multi-talented. He's the one who's actually shit. And like Lily, we're trying to claim that he's a pervert. Like, oh, Stranger Danger, he's a fucking pervert and this and that. But in reality, you're never going to give him a chance because you're jealous of him, because if you have the same tools, he's going to shine brighter. So where am I going to get at? That's a quick PSA to let you guys know that this is going to be somewhat of a long video, and that is what I know about the world of anime. You see how they both had a statement, and how like Lily, they both like Lily chose one thing instead of looking at the whole situation and chose like Lily their side of the story. I'm going to put it like this. So anime fans have this thing called cringe and lore, where Lily, they obsess about how the show is written versus how entertaining it is, which is why they think that My Hero Academia is a better anime than Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, how come it didn't impact so many people? It got a lot of people involved, and My Hero is very good at getting the fan base involved, but sometimes it gives them lackluster content, and that's what they don't get. Like Lily, fucking they're selling for less when it could be way more. That's the same fucking way, Lily. Like Lily, if the bar is raised to like Lily, not just who's going out with who, but complexity, like Lily, fucking not just beauty, but beauty and fucking, intellectual, properties, like, or a whole lot of other shit, then literally fucking we would be accustomed to actually being swag with style, because that's how it used to be back in the day. Back then you had to at least, it would still be a front back in the day, but it would be a way fucking stronger front that was backed up by a whole lot of other shit. You know what fucking Eminem's front back in the day? It wasn't the fact that he was hiding from his problems, it's the fact that he dealt with his problems in an ignorant way. He bulldozed his way through what they told him not to do, and then he ended up, regretting some of it on the inside. That's what always happens when you front them out, because Eminem can fight, he can do everything to back up his statement. Eminem can back up his own statement without relying on other people, but the meaning is wrong. And I'm gonna let you guys know that. That is a problem. That's another, public service announcement I have to make. Lily, that was the older generation problem. They backed up what they said, but it wasn't worth it. Uncle Jay had that exact same problem. Lily, my Uncle Jay Lily became chess champion when Lily. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm getting heavy off topic, but do you know why? Do you know why it's like that? It's because look how each and every one of these examples, people are taking what they can get out of this situation, where anime fans feel like they can literally have their cake and eat it too when they don't work hard for shit. So where am I getting out of this video? Okay, we finally reached the 10-minute mark, so it's probably time to start getting into the topic now. So, anime fans, do you ever actually listen to the opening of an anime when you watch an episode, or do you skip it just for the content? Do you absorb the moment of really getting hyped for the show, or do you literally just get to the content so you can make debates? Do you ever, for once, want to watch a show week basis and have suspense on not knowing what's going to happen next instead of reading fucking manga that's spoiling everything? Are you that type of anime fan? Well, then you can't hang with me. You're sitting over there making meaningless debates, not even getting paid for debates. If you gotta make debates, get paid like Swag Kage, Geekdom 101, Joy Boy Theory. If you gotta make debates about that, be just like Tekken 101. If not, recognize your place, little nigga. You have no right to be looking down on somebody else. Well, he plays Ultimate Ninja Storm, but he's gay because he doesn't play Smash Brothers. Enough with this shit. Like, literally, fucking, enough with this bullshit. Like, literally, you can't call that, you're like, somewhat gay and shit like that, but fucking, why would I buy a whole new system just to make you fucking happy? Anyway, like, why do I appeal to people? Do you know why you think like that? Do you know why you feel like there's no fucking meeting? Like, and this and that. Like, you skip the fucking opening and get straight to the content, like, mood tricks. Like, please understand that we understand that it comes from Japan. So why do we listen to music that we don't understand? We're trying to get to the real continuity of the manga. Like, what did the author's true intentions? This and that. Like, literally, freaking, like, literally, what was his thought process doing this and that? Based off, like, what's gonna happen next? Meaningless shit that's not gonna, like, have people support your statement in society, or have you have a whole bunch of people support your statement in a private chat. So you're saying that you're only gonna look at lore, you're only gonna look at literally where the series is going instead of everything that comes in your series. You're not gonna like the characters, the shipping between your characters, the fan features you can make, all the AMVs you can make, literally the endless possibilities. There are great series. You can make two anime characters fight each other by taking clips and literally cutting out footage of other people. Literally, I used to do that. I used to watch all that shit that anime can cover, all these crazy ass ideas you can do with anime, and all you pay attention to is cringe. Awful. Absolutely awful. Literally, no remorse for the opening, no nothing. Always skipping the best content. Everything that a girl likes is literally within that opening. You see how it's spontaneous? You see how it gets you hyped? Like, literally, everything that girls like, that intellectual properties where you match clicks for an A and B, where you don't just put a song on top of each other, where you make it beautiful secrets, that A and V, literally, the AMVs, the anime openings, literally, the abridged series, those are all stuff bitches like in real life. If you were to make it an actual thing, if it was outside of anime and you gave it the same amount of substance, this is why people like sports. This is why people like, literally, TV show, because they get to have, literally, debates about, literally, how complex the situation is. Literally, freaking, Curry wasn't in his right mindset this time, but literally, it's not just his ankle, it's his mindset. That's how complex fucking literally adults view shit. And you can view anime that way if you break it down into those different segments like A and B, a bridge series, like, crossover anime fights, or freaking, fucking what ifs, fucking Mad. You don't even know where a Mad is. A Mad A and B is a Japanese song from another anime that you make a clip with other animes. Literally, you're taking the Full Metal Alchemist opening and you're putting it to the fairy tale opening sequence. Literally, you don't even know anything about Mad. Literally, I'm a full on where it comes to that. You don't understand that. Literally, there's so many other fucking games that are out there. Fucking so many anime games. Fucking Mugen, Maple Story, all this other shit, and you only decided to do cringe. Literally, on a Discord server, 24/7, only playing one game at most, like making debates, not being active at all, not being intellectual at all, not having anybody share your experience except your little petty clubhouse. I had enough of that, man. That's not a real anime fan. A real anime fan absorbs everything. When I was in high school, I loved the action, I loved the comedy, I loved the characters, and I loved the music. You guys only like the fucking lore. You guys only like what's based off of. The action doesn't even appeal to you anymore because you're so critiquing of the fucking animation. Well, I want to see you draw that shit. We're so spoiled and so unappreciative of this anime generation that we literally missed out on everything that anime holds, and we literally, at that point, it's just a cartoon because of the way that you're treating it. But it's not when you have so many people involved making all these MEPs and stuff like that, and that's what was the problem with anime fans before. That's the whole reason why I made Skittles. All those great ideas, you see how I was in my own little world, how I'm having so much fun, how I'm a little fucking kid, that came because I actually had someone else's, positive, supporting influence. And literally, you don't understand that. Like, you don't understand that literally I got that from having a girl who thinks just like me, who likes animes just as much as me, who's hype, who loves the music I listen to, and literally that's how I came up with the idea of Skills. I didn't get it from being selfish or only thinking about me and my own little world. I got it from literally, actually understanding people and like literally you know how many freaking cosplayers I influenced, to listen to better music? Do you know, like, literally, that's what made anime better? That's what made anime social and shit? You understand that that gave nerds a positive outlook? Because, literally, there are so many nerds that are suffering from the same problem that I was going through in high school. I'm being 100% a good person. Why can't I get a job? Why can't I do this and that? Because you're not reading body language. You're not seeing if the interviewer is actually interested. You're going, literally, based off what you've done on paper instead of actually appealing to the audience. You're not being everybody halfway. You're not being discreet. You're not being reasonable or anything, because really you critique everything to a point where you'll never be discreet. Literally, because you'll never, like, literally have a realistic standard, because you're always looking up to shit, and, like, literally fucking you are so accustomed to how anime changed that you don't know that anime changed because it was censored. You adapted to the thing that, like, literally, oh fucking, we need cringe lore, so we don't think that Goku is the only thing that exists. We can't think that Goku is like the strongest character in the fiction universe. Not that it matters or anything, but literally we can't have people thinking that Goku, like, literally can beat Superman. We can't have them thinking that and stuff like that. Literally, have you read the Statue of Superman? And, like, literally, you know what people do when you do that shit? They gotta be like, bro, you are a total buzzkill. I don't care if Superman can beat Goku. He's boring as shit. Everything that, literally, those AMVs, the openings, all those stuff that anime causes is the same formula on how to get a girl. You have to be hyped like that in order to get a girl. You can't be fucking boring at all. You see how, literally, it gets people involved, it gets you hyped for the show. You disgrace every single thing. You see how they savor the moment? Like, I had so much fucking time. It's like, I had such a good time with my man and fucking shit like that. And then you're the fucking whiny ass parent. Like, so what? You still gotta go home and do your homework. That's where you are, nerds. Literally jumping from the next thing to the next thing without absorbing the moment for shit, without soaking in anything. And that's what made part 1 Naruto impactful. Just to let you know, nerds, I know how writing works. Literally, you're rushing to the next revelation, on top of revelation, on top of revelation, and then you complaining about why can't things be like part 1 Naruto anymore? Do you know why you're saying that? Do you know what made part 1 Naruto more impactful? Was the dramatic sequence, the music, how slow they took it, but how impactful they made it at the same time. Literally, all those formulas are how you get going. You see how they made the first one literally so fucking dramatic and so involved, like, literally, you know so much details about the character, and then you see a character go through a revelation that was literally, you see a character go through a situation that was worth everything he worked hard for, and that's literally, that amount of complexity is how you have to get a girl. In real life, you have to be dramatic like that, but you can't think you can throw Rasengans and do shit like that. You can't think you can make shadow clones and shit like that. You can't think like that. What you have to do is you have to be the same level as entertaining when it comes to getting a girl, or the same level of interest, or the same level as complexity. And you discard all that by only focusing on what you want to focus on when there's so many other fucking containments, where there's so many other aspects to it. When you only focus on one thing, you'll never get a girl, because just like a fight, just like everything in real life, you have to focus on everything. You can't just focus on literally one thing. You have to focus on multiple things, because that's the difference between literally a logical person or a retard. That's why people play sports. That's why people go to college, in order to give themselves a universal benefit. You're only focusing on literally smart shit that's gonna make you feel better based off your ego. Literally, ha ha ha, I found this fact about One Piece that nobody, like, knows about. Literally, I went deep into the Daishinchus. I went deep into the freaking origins. I went deep into I saw each and every interview of Oda in order to get this piece of information. Literally, losing out on life without being paid, without putting yourself in a situation of a benefit where you're gonna literally have a life outside. That's the worst fucking thing. That's tunnel vision to the greatest extent, because this is a form of media that gives you multiple aspects to think, because literally Naruto and Fairy Tail kept me alive when I was in high school, and I was getting rejected because I held on to those things, because I love the music, because I love the shipping, and that's why I made so much A&Bs. You really thought that if I viewed life like you and I only paid attention to manga shit, that I'd be able to survive watching people making out in the hallway every day? And literally, I'm fucking dreadful, but I can have something like, yo, Naruto has a cool new opening. I may not have a girlfriend at the time, but literally, I at least have this to vibe to. At least I still love to dance. At least I know that they're trying to meet me halfway. At least I know, like, literally, like, I know things are bad in times. I know the great Ninja War came out of time where we're at a failing economy, so we had to milk it because of their failing economy. I knew all of that, but I'm like, why do they have to destroy my childhood and this and that? At least they gave me this opening for hope. Literally, I have stuff like that. When you close yourself from those aspects, literally, what happens when the chips are down? You have nothing to cling on to, and I have multiple.